Hello everybody and welcome to this training workshop on how to generate PPC clients. My name's Cody Butler and I'm going to share with you on this training exactly how I was able to generate 18 AdWords clients at $1,500 a month each in only 2 months, and how you can do it too. So this is a brand new training. There's tons of new content on this training that I've not released publicly before. So let's talk for just a second about who I am and why I'm actually making this training today. And more importantly, what exactly are you going to get out of it? My name's Cody Butler and this is me with my right hand man here in our home office, and I live in Sydney, Australia. Now, I moved to Australia from the UK last year, and to be honest, there was no way I was getting a job when I got there. So I started a brand new business as an AdWords consultant, as a PPC consultant. Now, Australia to me was a new country. I had no clients, no network, not very much money to spend on advertising, so on and so forth. Now, I did have a little bit of money, but with no income, I didn't want to spend 10k or something crazy on ads each month when I'm living in the most expensive city in the world, and I didn't really have an income at the time. So that just made absolutely no sense to me at all. So out of full disclosure for what's going on here, I do have some previous experience, quite a lot of previous experience in getting clients. I had a very similar business in the UK, which I actually closed down when I left the UK just for legal reasons and accounting reasons and stuff like that. And that was in fact a very, very successful business. Now, it of course goes without saying that the results that I share with you on this training are my results and by no means are an indication of the results that you're going to get. I just want to share these with you as a case study so you can see what's possible if you apply yourself. So my intentions here are just to share with you what's working for me and what's working with a lot of other people right now, and hopefully you can take that, you can apply it, and you can make some money as well. So the point I'm trying to make here is that when I moved to Australia, is that I was starting over from scratch again. I didn't have any network or anything. I wasn't leveraging any assets, and I was doing it with a very, very minimal advertising budget as well. So what I did to get started was I joined a few forums, a few masterminds for consultants and stuff like that to receive and share ideas from other people. And after having some success, I made a post in one of the forums to encourage other people really who were struggling, and it said something like, so far this year, 18 new PPC clients at $1,500 a month. This is turning out to be the best year ever. Well, this is the post here, and as you can probably imagine, it got a pretty huge response. Some of you may even have seen it, with produced a lot of questions for me about how I've done that. So on this training, I'm going to share with you exactly how I did it by firstly answering the questions that I got from everybody, by answering the questions that it seems like everybody wants to know the answers to, and there's about 10 of them I think. And secondly, by giving you some detailed training on what you must do if you want to replicate those results. And I'm going to share with you what I did, and I'm going to share with you the strategies and all of that stuff on this training. I'm not going to hold anything back. This is going to be a really good training. So before I do that, I just want to prove to you that I'm telling the truth, because it's really easy to make a lot of claims, and I think if you're going to make claims, you should back that up and you should prove that you're telling the truth. So this is a screenshot of my MCC, my client center with AdWords, and this is where all the accounts that I manage are in. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, something like 17 or 18, 19 accounts that you can see there, and it actually goes down further. It got cut off, and you can see too that some of these are manager accounts as well. So there's a whole bunch of accounts that I'm managing in my MCC right now. So you can see that I do have a bunch of accounts under management. And I also want to share with you my dashboard from Invoiced, who I use for sending invoiced out. And you can see in the past month I've billed $54,825 in AdWords fees, and that's after around 7 months of trading in Australia. And not just Australia, I got clients all around the world, but from when I moved to Australia, it took about 7 months to build it up to that monthly amount. So as I mentioned, I did have a business in the UK, and I was able to generate literally hundreds of clients for myself during that business. I started it in around 2010, 2009, something like that, and over the years was able to generate a lot of clients. And I've also helped many other people like George from Clear Ads, who said, Cody's been amazing. We've been working with him for over 12 months now, and we're very impressed with the results. We've won a considerable amount of new business as a direct result of what he's done for us. Or Nick, who said, boom, just landed my first client from Cody's LinkedIn strategy, 3K setup fee, $1,500 a month management fee. Now you can see a lot more here on the there's a link here on the screen. You can have a look at more on your own time if you want to, but you get the idea, right? So as you can see, I've pretty much mastered the art of getting clients, and I can certainly help you do the same thing if you'd like to help, and that's what we're going to cover over the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. So I wanted to show you all of that really for just one reason, and that's so that you can see that I actually practice what I preach, that I do have a lot of PPC clients myself, that I am coming from a place of congruency, and I don't only teach how to generate PPC clients. It is actually a very substantial part of my income, and it's a very substantial part of my business, and I do this full time myself. This is a very good chunk of my business, and I'm actually living what I'm talking to you about here every single day. I'm actually doing it, I'm applying it, and you can check me out online. I'm sure you can find me and you'll see for yourself that what I'm about to share with you is what I'm actually doing. So as I said, PPC actually makes a very, very significant part of my income. Now all of that's out the way. Now you know who I am, what I do, what I potentially can do for you, and that I'm telling the truth. Now let's just dive straight into this training and get to the stuff that you're interested in, the stuff that's going to actually make you some money. So what I want to do is I want to start out by answering the questions that I most frequently get asked. If you remember, after I made that Facebook post, a lot of people asked me questions, and these were the questions that I really got asked a lot. So this part is for those who've never been on a training with me before. If you've been on a training before, you may have seen me answer these questions, but if you have been on one of those trainings with me, don't worry about it. We're going to jump into a lot more detail on what's really going to move the dial in your business here very soon. So once we get through these frequently asked questions, we're going to get into a ton of brand new content that previously has been for premium clients only. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and you're going to really be able to take advantage of it. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. So my goal here is by the end of the training is that you're going to have a much clearer idea as to what you actually need to do to enroll high-ticket PPC clients. Now, I say PPC clients because that's what I do. I do PPC, right? But this is going to work for any digital discipline. We can say SEO, social media, consultancy clients, anything like that. And it can be a done-for-you service, or it can be a consultancy service. So when I say PPC, like I said, I just say that because that's what I do and that's what I'm familiar with. But I use those words, I use that term interchangeably. So let's start with the big picture of what's going on, and then as we go on, we're going to come back and we're going to start to fill in all the little details as we go. So let's start with the 10 most common questions that I get asked, and then we're going to build it up from there. So the most common questions are: one, what prospecting method are you using? Now the quick answer is LinkedIn and direct mail. Like I say, we're going to come back and talk about these a little bit more. The second question is, can I get a copy of the direct mail that you're using? Now you should already have a copy if you've given that yesterday or the day before to you, so you should have a copy of a direct mail piece, but we'll talk more about that as we go as well. Question number 3 is, will this work for anybody? Will this work for me? And what if I don't have any case studies? Well, we're going to talk about that. Question number 4, how much am I spending to get each client? I'm going to share my stats with you. Question number 5, does the $1,500 per month include ad spend, or is that just the fee? We're going to talk about that. Number 6, am I using Facebook ads to get PPC clients? It's a good question. Question number 7, do I target existing AdWords advertisers, or do I target new advertisers? That's another great question. Number 8, what's your LinkedIn strategy? And LinkedIn's huge, by the way, so we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. 9, what kind of conversion rates are you getting? Now I'm going to share with you my stats as we get into that. And question number 10 is, can you help me get clients too? And of course we're going to cover that as well as we go. So the answers to those questions are as follows. The question is, what prospecting methods am I using? Now, as I said, I'm using predominantly LinkedIn and direct mail. Now, the reason I like these, let's start with direct mail, is one, because it's very cheap, right? So relatively speaking, compared to advertising on AdWords, advertising on Facebook, something like that, you're going to be able to do it for $10 to $15 a day, and you're going to be able to get some significant results for that, whereas you're probably not going to be able to do that with paid media like Facebook and stuff like that. The second reason I like DM is that it's a very low barrier to entry. It's very easy, right? It's not technical at all. If you can lick a stamp and address an envelope, you're good to go. That's all you need. It's very effective. It's extremely effective, and it's a very quick sales cycle, or at least it can be anyway. So quite often the sales cycle can be less than 48 hours. You can send out a mail on Monday, set up a consultation Tuesday, have the consultation Wednesday, and boom, the invoice is going out, money's in your bank account. It can be as little as 48 hours for that to happen. Now let's talk about LinkedIn. The reason I like LinkedIn is because the search features are really good. Once you've got your ideal client avatar, your customer avatar figured out, then it's going to be really easy to search those people out on LinkedIn and approach them directly, which is really good. It's virtually free, so this is probably your lowest cost form of marketing, right? So it's going to cost you do need really a premium account, which is going to cost you like $60 a month or something like that, somewhere in that range. It works really good. That's always a good reason to do something right. It's working. It's pretty time leveraged, so you can spend less than 30 minutes a day on it. That's what I like about it as well. And once you've got the winning strategy, once you've actually figured out how to use LinkedIn, and it's really not very difficult, then it's a pretty scalable idea. It's a pretty scalable model you can use. So those are the reasons why I use LinkedIn and direct mail. Now, these two methods alone, they can take your business to $1 million plus a year, I have no doubt, right? So just these two methods, you don't need to go any further than that. It's going to get you to where you need to be or where you want to be. So moving on, the second question, can I get a copy of the direct mail letter that you're using? Well, you should already have a copy of a direct mail piece that I've used in the past. It's been very, very successful for me and for my clients. And as I mentioned in the video, I've licensed that to a number of private clients for $9,600, and you've got that. So if you use that, if you've seen, I sent a couple of training videos out over the last few days. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check your email. There should be a video in there. The actual letter that I'm using currently, then I saved that for my private clients. I've got to save some value back for my private clients. But we're going to talk more about the direct mail and how to get that even better as we continue. If you can take some of the principles that we're going to talk about in this workshop and you can apply it to the direct mail, then you're going to get some really fantastic results. You're going to really supercharge the results you get. Now, as I say, the current direct mail piece, unfortunately, that's only available for my private clients, as they're paying for that, and I've got to hold that value back for them. So question number 3 is, will this work for anybody? Well, the answer to that, the short answer is no. It will work for anybody if you're willing to specialize. If you're not willing to specialize, it won't. So the answer is no. To get results like this, you've got to be willing to specialize in a specific niche. If you're not willing to do that, then this is probably not going to work very well for you. But if you are, this is going to work beautifully well for anybody that actually is willing to specialize. And don't be too afraid of that, because it's going to become very clear as we go why that's a very good idea and why it makes a lot of sense to do it. You're going to be very clear on that. You're going to have some clarity by the time we finish. As I say, all is going to become clear. So as a general consultant who works in many niches, or any niche really, then it's actually going to be much harder for you to generate business. It's going to be harder, one, for you to get clients in the first place, and it's going to be especially difficult for you to charge any kind of decent fees if you're not specialized in a niche. And again, as this unfolds, you're going to be very clear on why that's the case, and I think some of the fear and confusion that surrounds this is going to start to disappear. If you're just starting out and you don't have any results, any case studies, stuff like that, if that's what you're worried about, then don't worry, that's not really a problem at all. I'm going to share with you exactly what to do if that's your challenge, and again, specializing is going to help that. It's not going to hurt it. So stay with me, and that's going to all become very clear later on in this training. Question number 4 is, how much am I currently spending to get each client? Well, the simple answer to that question is, with LinkedIn, I'm not really spending anything. It's virtually nothing, right? All I'm doing is, I have a premium account, which I think is $60 or $65 a month, somewhere in that vicinity. And that's it, really. Sometimes I buy some extra emails, but that's not very much money. Relatively speaking, it's pretty cheap. So LinkedIn costing virtually nothing to acquire clients. It's just my time. Like I say, premium account, $60 a month. With direct mail, it's a little bit different. I'm finding that each mail piece costs me approximately $1.50 to send out, somewhere in that range. So it's costing a little bit more, but it's still, for $1.50, you're putting your message in front of somebody that is potentially a very good match with you, potentially a client. And look, you're not going to get a click online anywhere for $1.50. So to put your message in front of the right person, $1.50 is dirt cheap for that. And I would say, it's taking on average probably 40 to 50 pieces to get one client, something like that. It varies. So you're looking at around roughly $75 per client with direct mail. So if you look at the numbers on that, a client at $1,500, which is the bare minimum that I would advise you charge, and it's the bare minimum that I charge. Generally, it's considerably more than that these days. Then if you can retain that client for 12 months, then that $75 investment is actually turning into $18,000. So it's a crazy return on investment. It's a highly efficient, highly effective way to market your business. Now, the next question number 5, is, does that $1,500 per month include ad spend, or is that just my fee? Well, that's my fee. That's it, right? So I want to get a bare minimum of $1,500 a month in my bank account after all of the expenses that are actually involved in delivering the service. So I charge a percentage of ad spend usually as well, because I want $1,500, like I say, to be mine, and the 10% covers the other fees that are involved, like hosting and landing pages and stuff like that. So what I do is I have clients add their billing details directly to the AdWords account, and like I said, I generally charge 10% fee, 10% of ad spend as well, to cover core tracking costs and hosting costs of the landing pages, all of that. $1,500 a month fee, let me tell you, rarely poses a problem if you're marketing your services properly. And in fact, it's easy to charge much more than that. If you're struggling with charging high fees, or you don't think you can charge high fees, it's because your marketing is ineffective. And we're going to look at that. And like I say, as this training unfolds and we go on, it's hopefully going to be crystal clear why not only it's desirable to charge high fees, it's easier to get more clients, and you really should be charging high fees as well. And that's going to become very clear. We're going to cover exactly how to charge premium fees before the end, as I've said. So next question is, am I using Facebook ads to get AdWords clients? Well, the answer to that question is I do, but I don't advise it right away. So it's part of a bigger picture. It's not the picture, right? Now, the reason that I don't advise that you use Facebook right away is a couple of reasons. It's expensive, it's complex, it's very easy to blow a lot of money fast, and it's always changing. So if you're in the situation that I was in, where you're starting out a business or you don't have too many clients yet and you don't want to blow through a whole bunch of money, then LinkedIn and direct mail is going to be a better way to go. It's going to be more cost effective, it's going to be lower risk, and it's going to be lower barrier to entry. And to be honest, it's probably more effective as well. But I do use Facebook, I'll be honest. I do like it, and I've got nothing bad to say about it. It's just something that I would use down the road, not now. I would use Facebook, like I say, probably after you're at the 10k a month point, where you've got a little bit of cash flow to make it work well for you. Start with the lower risk methods. That's what I would advise to start with. So as I say, Facebook offers a lot of leverage. You can really grow a business quickly once you've got everything sorted out, but you only want to do that after you're really cashed up, or if you're willing and able to take on a lot more risk. You can lose a lot of money on Facebook as well. Question number 7 is, do I target existing AdWords advertisers or new? The answer to that question is both, right? There are advantages and disadvantages to both. The direct mail piece that I've given you already, that's for those targeting those who already advertise, but both work really well. So the only problem sometimes with targeting existing advertisers is that you're going to be price compared. So if there's an incumbent agency or an incumbent consultant that's managing prospective clients' campaign already, then your price is going to be compared to their price, and they're probably going to be considerably cheaper than you, right? So if they're charging $500 a month and you're going in telling them it's going to be $1,500 a month, then you've got some work to do to show that discrepancy in price, right? So that's the problem with existing advertisers. With new advertisers, you don't really have that problem, but they're not advertising either, so you've got a different challenge there. So the answer to the question is both can work really well, but it does take slightly different approaches to make it work. But like I say, it's all easily overcome. This stuff is not terribly difficult. So question number 8 is, what's your strategy with LinkedIn? And as I said earlier on, LinkedIn's huge. It's really good way to generate business that doesn't cost a huge amount of money, and it's a great way to grow your business, right? So LinkedIn's about getting people's attention is what it's about. It's about being personal. So you want to start by asking questions and stop making statements. The mistake that a lot of people make is they just like to make statements when really you should be asking questions. So you don't want to be making statements on LinkedIn like Qzx900 Butler, direct response marketing expert, or Qzx900 Butler, digital marketing expert, something like that. You want to ask people a question, like get people engaged. If you make a statement at somebody, you're just talking at them. If you ask them a question, you get them engaged. So asking questions on LinkedIn is actually a really good way to engage people and get the conversation going. But at the end of the day, this is about direct response marketing. It's not about starting groups, lead nurturing, having conversations, and all of that stuff, right? We want a methodology that's very low effort comparatively, and it's got a very fast turnaround on it. So pretty much it's about really engaging the person with a targeted message. So as I say, you want really fast turnaround on this stuff, right? Because you want to get clients in the door quickly. And if you look at what Chris has said here, I could kiss you, bro. I'm getting more inquiries, connections, and messages in the past hour than I have all month with that other program. Started at 9 a.m. this morning, and I'm already in conversations with several leads. So you can see that you can start the conversation and you can generate leads really quickly with LinkedIn, which is why I love it. It's a great way to get started. Question number 9 is, what kind of conversion rates am I getting? So again, I'm just sharing with you my results here. So I'm not saying these are going to be your results or these are typical results. I don't know if they're typical or not. I'm just sharing with you my results so you can see what I've done to give you a bit of a case study here and a bit of a benchmark. As I say, this is for case study purposes. So for the direct mail, typically I'm going to send out 10 letters, and I'm hoping to get one consultation out of that. I'm hoping to get, I'm hoping to speak to one person on the phone. That's the goal that I'm going for there. And that generally comes about. Sometimes it's a little bit less, but it varies from week to week. There's not a massive amount of consistency in it from week to week, but I'm looking for 1 out of 10 to turn into a consultation. So my numbers are 7 out of 10 of those consultations are probably going to turn into clients, right? So if I send out 50 letters a week, then that can turn into 2 to 3 clients on average, and that's going to be about 90 minutes a day. And as I say, it's like I'm pretty experienced with the sales side of things, I'm pretty experienced with the marketing side of things and all that, so I'm not saying that that's the results you're going to get, but those are some targets that you can shoot for. As I say, I'm pretty experienced with the sales part of it. So one of my clients here, Nick, has said just closed first client from the direct mail template onto the next. So as you can see, it's like other people are getting good results with this stuff as well. But let's remember, even 2 to 3 clients per month is amazing. I'm saying 2 to 3 clients a week. You just don't need 2 to 3 clients per week. So even really 1 client per month is going to equate to an extra $18,000 per month of income after 18 months. You got to remember, this is reoccurring revenue, and the numbers really start to compound very quickly. So the number of new clients you actually need to make a lot of money, it's really very small. You don't need to get massive results here to start to produce a pretty significant income when you're charging premium fees. So even if we're ultra conservative on the response and the conversion rate, and saying that the conversion rates that I got are completely unrealistic, let's dumb it down and be really conservative with it. You've still got a 6-figure business in about 6 months. If you can add 1 client a month, something like that, then you're going to be able to build your business up to a 6-figure business very, very quickly. Now, that's really one of the big benefits of premium pricing, is that you just don't need to get a whole bunch of clients to really have a great business. So let's just look very quickly at what some of the other benefits of premium pricing are as well. Firstly, it's going to be considerably easier for you to get clients if you're charging much higher fees. Now, I know that sounds backwards, and you're probably going, what? How can it be easier to get more clients if you're charging more? Just stick with me. Trust me, it's all going to become clear. I'm going to go through this, and hopefully the pen is going to drop, and you're going to get it, and you're going to be able to apply this stuff, and it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. The second reason that premium pricing is a good idea is because you just need a lot less clients, right? If you're charging $400 or $500 a month, you need 20 or 30 clients to get to 6 figures. If you're charging $1,500 a month, you only need like 6 clients or 7 clients to get to 6 figures. You need considerably less, right? So the end result is that you don't need a lot of clients to make a lot of money, and that can only be a good thing, right? If you can get your business to where you want it to be with a heck of a lot less clients, then that can only be a good thing, right? So let's continue. Let's talk about the results that I'm getting on LinkedIn. So typically I'm going to contact around 20 people per day. That's going to be my goal, and usually, let's just say typically, again, these numbers are going to vary from day to day, week to week, but one out of 20 people I get to engage with me. 1 out of 20 people I have a conversation. LinkedIn's a little bit lower conversion rate for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but it is. But so I'm going to get typically probably about 3 out of 10, 1 in 3 are going to buy from me that I have a conversation with on LinkedIn. So what that works out at is we're looking at approximately every 60 people I contact are going to result in a client. Now let's have a quick look at what Phil had to say about LinkedIn in our private Facebook group. Man, I just sent like 35 LinkedIn messages, and literally within 20 minutes I got like 10 responses. Nothing new to you, I'm sure. And he's absolutely right. That's nothing new to me at all my clients. 10 leads in 35 minutes. Well, even with only a 10% close rate, you still got 1 client, right? If you can only close 10%, 1 out of 10, you're still getting 1 client. And if you can retain that client for a year, assuming you offer a good service, that's $18,000. Now, I just want to say, like, these type of results with LinkedIn and stuff like that, these results are not rare. They're not one-offs. They're not like just the odd person here or there gets them. Again, look at what Will had to say. After 1 week, I had a great call with a prospect. The CEO gave me the yes on the phone for $2,000. That's after 1 week of working LinkedIn. So once you have a working system to generate leads, then as you can hopefully start to see, it gets pretty easy to grow your business pretty quickly, right? And the reason for that is because you know exactly what you have to do on a daily basis. You can plan and you can schedule your growth. Now, as I said, my numbers are my numbers, and they're not necessarily going to be your numbers, but after working this system for a short period of time, you're going to know your numbers. You're going to know how many mails you need to send out to get a consultation, how many consultations you need to have to get a client. And same with LinkedIn, right? So Once you've got those numbers, you just reverse engineer and work backwards from there. So you can now start to really plan your weekly and monthly marketing activity to make sure that you hit your growth goals every month. And instead of hoping and wishing for it, you've actually now got a business. You actually know what to do. You've got a marketing plan. You've got a marketing strategy. You've got something you can actually count upon, rely upon. You've got something on the calendar, and you've got a schedule of activity that's going to bring in a steady flow of clients, and it's going to bring in a steady flow of income. And that's, to be perfectly honest, is what most people are missing in this business. They're missing steady income, and they're missing a steady flow of clients. If you can get those, you're in good shape, right? So when you've got that, you can just stop worrying about getting clients. It's not something you need to worry about anymore, and you don't have to freak out if you lose one. Now, I've been in that position for a long time where I lose a client, I just freak out, especially if it's a good client. Especially starting out, early days of an agency, early days of a consultancy, we're typically going to have a handful of clients that make up the majority of our income, right? So if you lose that one client, or you lose those two clients, right, that really make up the bulk of your income, it's just freak out time. So when you know how to generate clients, when you know you can generate high ticket business, you don't need to freak out anymore. You can just relax a little bit, because you know for a fact that you've got more clients coming through the door very soon, right? So having a systematic way works is like having oxygen in your business. It's like you can breathe, right? You can take a deep breath, you can chill out, and you can relax, because you know that part of your life, you know that part of your business is handled. You're not dependent on any one person anymore. You're not dependent on any one client. You're not dependent on anything. It's like you know that whatever happens when it comes to generating clients, you're going to be able to deal with it, right? So you can just relax a little bit and just know that everything's going to be okay. And that's really a wonderful place to be, because it just takes all of the stress out of the equation. And at the end of the day, you didn't go into business just to be stressed out all the time. So when you get to this point where you're confident that you can generate business on demand, and you're just not freaked out and stressed out about it anymore, that's when you can really start to experience the stress-free abundance in your life and in your business on a daily basis, which, to be honest, if you're like myself and you're like most people, that's why we've gone into business for ourselves. That's why we've decided to take this route that, let's be honest, is not the easiest route to go down. It's challenging, and we can experience those benefits on a daily basis, and not just in your business, but in every aspect of your life. You can't separate your business life and your personal life. If you're stressed out at work, you're stressed out at home too. So that's not a good thing for anyone, right? So question number 10, can you help me do the same thing you're doing? And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, I can help you. So if you're ready to really start growing your business, if you're serious about it, if you're ready to take action, then absolutely I can help you. And we're going to talk about that at the end of this workshop, at the end of this training. What I can offer you is the exact same system that I'm using. I can let you 100% inside my business. I can work with you to do exactly the same things that I'm doing. I can give you the same templates, the same strategies, the same methodology, all of that stuff. And if you're interested in learning about that, then stick around. We're going to talk about that at the end of this training. But before that, there's lots more to learn. So we're just actually getting started here. We've just covered the 10 questions, and now we're actually going to get into some stuff that you can take and really apply into your business and start to see the results immediately, hopefully. So as I say, that's the top 10 questions covered. Now let's look at what you can do right now, that if you do it, if you get it, if the penny drops, it's going to revolutionize how you do business from now on. So let's start by talking about that fee structure, for example. Let's talk about that, because I know everybody's thinking, or a lot of people are thinking, how does that work? You raise your fees and it gets easier. How do you charge premium fees? How do you do it, right? So let me ask the question. Who wants to charge premium fees? Who wants to charge higher fees than they do currently, but just doesn't think it's possible? Well, let me share something. As I've said, it's actually easier to get clients if your fees are premium than if they're discounted. Now, let me explain. Let's go into some detail, and let's start with the high-level view as to why this is the case. If you can understand why, it's going to make it very easier to do, right? So this is a key point that I really want you to internalize. When results matter to a business, when the results matter, when the results are important, when the results are significant, the fee matters. The fee makes the difference. So when that's the case, when the result is significant, when you lower your price, that's actually going to be a very big turn-off to the prospects who need your help the most, and are actually, in reality, the ones who are most likely to move forward, the most likely to hire you. In other words, your hottest leads are going to be turned off by low prices. So let me use an analogy to really bring this home. So I think this will make this really clear to you. So if you're about to be pushed out of an airplane at say 20,000 feet, something like that, and you don't have a parachute, there's no parachute. If there's a guy standing on the back of the plane and you're given the opportunity to buy one of two parachutes, do you want to buy one of them? Well, of course you do. You're getting ready to get pushed out of a plane, right? You need a parachute. But which one do you want to buy? There's two. You've got two to choose from. Well, let me give you a little bit more information about these parachutes and see if you can make up your mind from this. The first parachute is $25. It's a real bargain, very discounted. It's $25. The second parachute that he's holding is $5,000. And he says, hey, look, I got a great deal, $25, or I've got this over here. It's a premium parachute. It's the best money you can buy. It's $5,000. Which one do you want to buy now? Which one do you want? You're getting ready to get pushed out of a plane at 10,000 feet. Do you want the $25 parachute or do you want the $5,000 parachute? Well, if you're like most people, the answer to that question is you're going to want the $5,000 parachute, right? Why is that? Because the reason you want the $5,000 parachute is because, as we've said, and the point that I asked you to internalize is when results matter, the price matters. So hopefully that makes it a little bit clearer, but we can summarize it as this: price equals trust in the prospect's mind. Can you trust the $25 parachute? Particularly if you've got a $5,000 one next to it, or are you thinking, what's wrong with this? Why is it cheap? Why is it so cheap and the other one's expensive? And the second question is, what are the consequences if that parachute doesn't open? Can you take that risk? If you buy a cheap parachute and it doesn't perform, what are the consequences and can you take that risk? Well, the same is true with a consultant or a service provider such as yourself or such as myself. So if we're dealing with a business who metaphorically is on the back of that plane getting ready to get pushed out and they absolutely need a parachute, they need a good outcome, they need a result, who do they trust? Do they trust the consultant or the service provider who's charging $250 a month? Or do they trust the service provider or consultant who's charging $2,500 a month? You see, price is very important after all. If a business absolutely has to have that result, and like I say, that's going to be your best prospect, they're the ones that are going to make a decision quickly, they're going to move forward, then they're going to be very price sensitive, right? But they're going to be price sensitive just in the opposite direction to what most people think they are. See, the only time a lower price is going to be more attractive is when the results are not very important to the person who's buying them, right? So when it doesn't matter to the person if you let them down or not. So if you're on the ground and you have to buy a parachute and you got a $5,000 one or a $25 parachute, the fact that you're on the ground and you're not going to have to use the parachute, you don't care if it opens or not, you don't care if it works or not. Now the $25 parachute is attractive, right? So the cheaper price is only important if the results are not very important, or the prospect simply has no money and cheap is all they can afford. Like if you're on the back of a plane and you simply don't have $5,000, you're going to buy that $25 parachute just because the $25 parachute is better than no parachute at all, right? So if somebody's got absolutely no money, then they're going to go for cheap. But neither one of those is a good fit for us, right? If the prospect we're talking to doesn't care if we let them down, they don't care if we get the results or not, well, that's a problem. They're not a very good client. Or if they've just flat out got no money and they can't afford a premium service, then that's not very good either. We don't want to be working with clients that have no money. If you deal with broke people, you're going to be broke. That's all there is to it. If you want to become wealthy, you have to deal with wealthy people. If you want to be successful in business, you have to align yourself with successful businesses, right? Just makes sense. So if you are currently attracting tire kickers into your business, if you're attracting time vampires and all that stuff, lots of undesirables, then this is going to be at least in part to the fact you're probably too cheap. Your price is attracting the wrong people. Your price is appealing to the wrong people. You're calling out to people that don't need your service, don't really care if they get the result, or they've just got no money. All of those are bad news. We don't want any of those. Now, there are definitely other reasons why you might be attracting those people into your business as well. It's not just a case of raise your price and that's it, job done. There are other things as well. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but we're going to get to that as we go on. We're going to talk about some of the other reasons as well. But first, when you raise your price, three things are going to happen in your business. One, you're going to make more money for less work, right? You do the same amount of work, you make more money, or you do more work and you make a lot more money. Second thing is you're going to actually attract much, much better clients for reasons that hopefully are starting to become apparent. Clients that are willing to move forward quickly, clients that have funds, clients that are going to be appreciative of what you're doing, all of that kind of stuff. And 3, you're going to create enough margin for outsourcing. Now that's really, really important, right? So at $500 a month, there's simply no money available to outsource the fulfillment. Higher fees are going to give your business room for unlimited growth. They're going to give your business room for a lot of scale, right? So if you're only charging $500 a month, then you're going to pay $300 or $400, maybe even $500 to an outsourcing company, and very best, your margin's going to be like 20%. Whereas, at $1,500, you've got lots of room for margin there. So continuing on, as we've already said, if you want prospects to say yes to you on a regular basis, and I know you do, that's why you're on this training, right? That's why you showed up, and that's why, 40 some minutes into it, you're still here, because you want clients to say yes to you, then absolutely positively something has to be present. And what is that? Well, the answer to that question is urgency. There's got to be urgency. So if you're on the back of that plane and you're getting ready to get pushed out, what kind of urgency is there to find a solution? And as we've said, when the urgency is there and the result matters, then the price matters as well. So urgency is very, very important. We want to deal with people that there's urgency for them to get our solution. There has to be urgency for a solution to a painful problem. So if urgency is present in the situation, then 1, the prospect is going to make a fast decision. They're not going to think about it for 3 months. How long would it take you to think about buying a parachute on the back of a plane? And 2, the price is going to matter in your favor, as we've already discussed. So we only want to be approaching prospects who are metaphorically getting ready to be pushed out of the back of that plane, right? They urgently need a solution, which hopefully you offer, and this is what it looks like. So in that situation, when the client that you're talking to is getting ready to get pushed out of a plane, and your competitor is offering a solution for $25 and you're offering a solution for $5,000, then it's going to work in your favor, right? So this is why clients that I've worked with, like Chris and Phil, who we talked about, get such fast responses. Look at what Phil said here, just sent 35 messages and literally within 20 minutes, 10 responses. That's probably more leads than most people have generated in a month, really. Look at what Chris said, I'm getting more inquiries, connections and messages in the past hour than I have all month with the other program. Started at 9, already in conversation with several leads. It happens in real time. You can start to generate these leads in real time because they're on the back of a plane getting ready to get pushed off, right? They need a parachute. So when we intercept them at that point, it's very favorable for us. So that's what happens when you're talking to the right people at the right time. It doesn't take a long time to get them interested, and it doesn't take a long time to get them into the sales process. So what we want to do is only target prospects, as we've said many times now, metaphorically on the back of that plane getting ready to get pushed out. Look, if you sell parachutes on the back of a plane, I'm here to tell you that you're never going to hear, I need to think about it ever again. You're not going to hear those type of things. You're not going to hear those objections, right? Because you're offering a very urgent solution to a very painful problem, which is also why, as we said earlier on, I've never heard of you really isn't a problem. If you're dealing with the right people and you're talking to them at the right time and you're offering the right solution, your lack of reputation, your lack of case studies really isn't going to be significant at all, simply because the person you're talking to is really much more concerned about themselves and their situation than they are about you and your situation, right? So if you're still worried about your inexperience, if you're still worried about a lack of case studies, then let me share another analogy with you that really should make this crystal clear. So if the prospect that you're talking to has been 3 days in a desert and they haven't had any water to drink whatsoever, they're about to die, how much experience do you need to sell that prospect a glass of water? You got someone in a desert who's dying of thirst and you stood there with a glass of water selling it. How much experience do you need to achieve that? Well, the answer to that question is about none, right? You don't need any experience to sell it to them. How often do you really think that they're going to ask you questions like, I'm really interested in your water, but where did you get your hydration qualifications from? Or, I'm really interested in your water, but can I please speak with 3 people you've successfully hydrated first? Or, are you Evian certified? No, that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen because they need a solution and they need it right now, right? So if you offer that solution, if you offer a glass of water to somebody who's dying of thirst, then happy days for you. That's going to solve a lot of the problems that people experience when it comes to inexperience and case studies and stuff like that. It all comes down to audience selection. It all comes down to time in messaging, all that stuff, right? So obviously we've got to set this up properly. We got to set our positioning up properly. So it's not a case of just saying, hey, I'm expensive, hire me. That's not really how it works either. So it's a little bit more complicated than that. But that's a relatively simple task to do, right? So as you can see that your history, or lack of it in some cases, it's really not going to present too much of a problem at all, right? If you're positioning yourself right, if you're approaching the right people, and if you're doing this the proper way. So what's more important actually than the fact that you have a history, you have case studies and stuff like that, is the fact that you need to be presentable and you need to look the part. And let me make this point by asking you this question. When did you last ask a doctor to see his license to practice medicine? Or have you just always assumed that he's qualified simply because he looks like a doctor and he claims to be one? The same is true for the prospect. They're going to assume the same about you if you set it up right. If you look like a doctor, if you act like a doctor, if you're advertising yourself as a doctor, you talk like a doctor, you walk like a doctor, chances are the prospect's going to think you're a doctor, right? So same is true for you. It's how you look, which is another word for positioning, right? Positioning is very important. How you set this up is going to determine what your prospect thinks about you, and as long as you're setting it up right, then your lack of history, your lack of experience really isn't going to be that big of a deal, right? So hopefully you can see that client acquisition, it's really going to be about proper prospect selection, and it's going to be about proper positioning. This is where I'm going with all this stuff, right? Which is why I like direct mail and LinkedIn a lot, and it's why they're powerful, and it's why they're very, very successful, because both of those methodologies, both of those routes to market, we're able to be very, very selective about who we approach. So as you can see here, this is just a screenshot of a LinkedIn search feature in premium account. We got some really great search features, right? So we can target only partners or owners. We can target company size. We can go through, and there's a whole bunch more search features there that we can use. I just want to show you a couple of them, right? So we can get started. So once we know who our ideal prospect is, then we're able to really search that person out with the features that LinkedIn has available, and we're able to reach them directly. We're able to reach the prospect very, very cost effectively, and LinkedIn's going to help us out by identifying who those people are, and of course our success rate is going to be really high. But we're not done yet, so there's still a couple more pieces of the puzzle that I want to give you before we finish up on this training. Now, the next important piece of the puzzle is that you must specialize in a niche, right? So we said earlier on, right, when the question was, can anybody do this? The answer was no, you can only do it if you're willing to specialize. Well, let's talk about that for a second, and why it's an absolute must that you need to specialize if you want to utilize the methodology that I'm explaining to you here. The reason is because people hire consultants to solve specific problems, not general problems, right? So this is critical in charging premium fees. If you miss this part, you can do everything else right, but if you miss this part, then it's not going to work for you. You're going to hear you're too expensive a whole bunch, right? So let's look at an illustration again to bring this home. I like illustrations, and makes it really easy to understand, right? So let's talk about medical doctors again, because we've already been talking about those a little bit. So if, heaven forbid, you were diagnosed with something very serious like liver cancer or something like that, would you want to see a general practitioner doctor, a GP, just a general doctor who's on the corner of every street in every city, or would you want to go see a cancer specialist? Do you want to see a generalist, or do you want to see a specialist if you've got a specific problem? Well, let's take that one step further. I'm sure the answer to that question is you want to see a cancer specialist, but let's go one step further. And would you want to see a cancer specialist, or would you want to see a liver cancer specialist, bearing in mind that you've been diagnosed with liver cancer? Well, pretty obvious, right? You're going to want to see a liver cancer specialist. There's no doubt about it. Let's continue it one step further again. You've decided that you need to see a liver cancer specialist, and you've got two available to you in your town. You've got Dr. A and you've got Dr. B. These are your choices. Dr. A is $2,500. Dr. A says, hey, yep, definitely can help you out. We can get you all fixed up. It's going to cost you $2,500. No problem at all. Or Dr. B says, yep, definitely we can help you with this. I'm very experienced in this type of cancer, and very high success rate. We can definitely help you out here. It's going to be $60,000. Which one do you want? Which one do you want to treat you? Well, again, the answer is pretty obvious, right? If you're like most people, you're going to want to go with Dr. B for sure. That price is going to be very, very reassuring. Now, the other question is, how price sensitive are you at this point? Are you more concerned about the cost of the treatment, or are you more concerned about the effectiveness and the quality of the treatment? Which is your primary concern? See, the result in that situation is going to be a much, much bigger concern than the cost of the result. So you want the result, you need the result. it's very unlikely that you're going to say, well, I'd love your treatment. I can see the value and I really want it, but I'm just going to have to wait a few months until I've got the money. No, that's just not going to happen. Of course, you're not going to say that. You're finding the money one way or another, right? Because there's urgency present in your problem. If you've got to sell your house, if you've got to take out a second mortgage, if you've got to borrow the money, if you've got to get credit cards, it doesn't matter. When you've got an urgent problem that you need a solution to, you're going to go to the most qualified specialist and you're going to pay whatever it is they're asking to get your problem solved. So another question I'd like to pose to you here as well is, how hard is it for the liver cancer specialist to sell you on the idea that you should work with him or her? How much selling do they have to do? The answer is there's absolutely no sales needed at all. It's very easy. You understand that you have a problem. You understand that you need a solution. You're not particularly price sensitive to that solution to some degree. There's always limitations to that, of course, and you're actively seeking out a solution. So in fact, as I say, you're probably seeking out that cancer specialist, that liver cancer specialist. He's not even really looking for you, you're looking for him, right? So most people think that if they specialize, it's going to hurt them, but completely the opposite is true in reality. So if we bring this back to your business and how this is going to apply to your business, most people will only pay a very small amount to work with a generalist. If we take it back to general doctor, you're not going to pay very much money to go to see a general doctor. The money is going to be paid to the specialist. If you're going to pay $60,000 to the medical industry, it's going to be to a specialist within that industry, right? When you've got a very specific problem and you need a solution. You see, when people are looking for a generalist, or when people are willing to pay for a generalist, there's really very little desire in that person. And there's really going to be no urgency for them to move forward. There's really going to be no urgency for them to take a solution. But what about the specialist? What if you're a specialist? Well, if you're a specialist, then the people that you're talking to, they're going to be willing to pay much higher fees. There's going to be a much higher level of urgency to take action. And there's going to be a lot of desire present in the transaction, right? So I can summarize it all like this. The generalist has one, very low appeal, and two, commands very low fees. The specialist has one, very high appeal, and two, commands very high fees. So the same is going to be exactly true for you as a digital consultant as it is for the medical industry and every other industry, right? So if you're not willing to specialize, if you don't see the value in specializing, or if it's too scary for you, then unfortunately I have to say you're probably going to struggle, one, to get clients, and two, definitely to charge premium fees. That's for sure. I mean, you can go on Upwork or freelance or something like that and get a bunch of clients for $150, $200 a month, but forget about charging premium fees if you're not willing to specialize. It's just, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know anybody that knows how to do it. So what do you do if you're new to this and you don't have a niche to specialize, or you don't have any case studies to use or anything like that? Some of the things that are going to be advantageous to you using this methodology. Well, the easiest thing to do is going to be to stand on the shoulders of those who do have experience, those who do have case studies and stuff like that. So what you want to do if you're in that situation is find a contractor who does have experience in the niche that you want to work in, and that's pretty easy to do. We can talk at a later date about how to do that if you want to, but find somebody who does have experience in the area you want to specialize and ask if you can use their results and ask if you can use their case studies. Quite often they're going to let you do that, and that's going to give you some confidence, and that's going to give you a great starting point. Now, for my private clients, I do have a service that I recommend that can provide those type of services for you. Now, they don't only deliver the product completely, they do a fantastic job of that. They deliver landing pages, call tracking, management of the campaigns, all that kind of stuff, pretty much everything you need, reporting, so on and so forth. It's really an ideal solution to the product delivery side of things, and it also solves all of the credibility problems that most people face if you're just starting out, right? So it can also provide you with a lot of confidence in what you're doing. If you've got something or somebody behind you that can support you and gives you confidence in selling the product, then that's going to do wonderful things to your confidence, and that's going to do wonderful things to your client acquisition as well. So let's talk about implementing all of this stuff, right? So we've covered a lot of ground today. We've covered a lot of stuff. So let's talk about getting this stuff implemented into your business. So hopefully I've given you enough information in this workshop that you can take away what I've given you and you can start to apply. And I think if you use the letter that I gave you a few days ago, and you use the email follow-up sequence, and you take some of this specialization and high fee stuff, premium fee stuff, and you start to apply it to your business, that's going to put money in your bank account. You're going to see a difference in your business, and you're going to see more money coming into your bank account, right? But obviously this is pretty much a 1 hour training or thereabouts, and I'm pretty limited to what I can do on that training. So if you'd like like more help with this, if you can see the value of what's going on here and you can see how this could actually impact your business in a positive way and it makes sense to you, then I do obviously offer a premium training on all of this stuff. Now, that training is called More Clients, More Results, and this is where we go step by step on how to implement everything that we've talked about into your business today. So if you'd like step-by-step help on how to actually implement this into your business and in a way that's very formatted, it's very structured, it's very step-by-step, it's very easy to follow, and it provides you with all of the materials that you need, it provides you with the templates, provides you with the step-by-step help, how to do it, and it does all of that in a very, very structured way that's very easy to follow, so it removes all of the stress, all of the confusion, all of the overwhelm. As much of it is done for you as possibly can be, and it gives you an absolutely clear roadmap for you moving forward in your business and to start getting clients immediately. Then this training is going to be absolutely perfect for you. This is going to be for you. So if you're just not sure where to get started, or you've just got no idea right now how to generate clients, then this is going to be perfect for you as well. If you're a little bit confused about where to go next, what to do next, what steps to take in your business, then this is going to work really well for you as well, because it's step by step. So it's also going to be good if you're an established agency and you need a systematic way to generate new business that's not referral based, right? I talk to a lot of agencies, and this is typically the problem that they face. And it was the problem that I had for a long time too, was business comes in from time to time, but it's referral based or it's JV based, stuff like that. So if you're looking for a way to move out of that to where you have a systematic way to generate new business without referrals, then again, this is going to be very good for you as well. I think you're going to get a lot out of this training. So this training retails for $5,500, and that's what it sells for all day long. I've had a whole bunch of people buy it for that price, but you're not going to pay that price today. I've got a very special webinar discount for you today. So let's just go over it quickly, what it actually is, and then we'll get to the very discounted price for you. So let's cover exactly what's included in the training. So here we are inside the training portal, and I just want to go over this very quickly. As you can see, it's very easily laid out. So once you log into the membership portal, then you start out by watching this video here. That's going to give you some very clear instructions on how to work through this material. So it's broken down into 6 weeks. Each week is very step by step, so it's week by week, step by step within each week. And as you can see, if you come into each week's, as you can see, it's broken down in a very organized way for you. So if we want to run through the weeks very quickly, so week 1 we're going to start with an overview. We're going to look at picking the niche. This is very, very important. We're going to talk about setting your fees. So what should your fees be? Why should you be charging the fees that you're charging? All of that kind of stuff. And we're going to look at the mindset required around expert positioning. So this is going to be very, very important stuff here. So that's week 1. Week 2 we're going to start with an overview. Then we're going to go to creating your irresistible messaging. So we talked about that a little bit. So we want to create a message that prospects really can't say no to. So that's going to be very, very important for both LinkedIn and direct mail. We're going to want to have messages that people find it really very difficult to say no to and very easy to say yes to, such as the person being in the desert being offered water, or the person on the back of the plane being offered a parachute. Very hard to say no to those offers. We're going to talk about updating your LinkedIn profile. We're going to go through all of that. We're going to talk about creating a consistent web presence, so to make sure that everything's lines up, there's no inconsistencies. That's going to be very, very important as well. And then we're going to talk week 2, we're going to start to prepare for prospecting week 3. So you're also going to get a whole bunch of additional sales collateral, which you can see. These are all templates which you can just download and modify for the niche that you need. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 pieces of additional sales collateral there, which we can use next week. So as we prepare to prospect on week 3, that's when we're really going to start to see the results. We're going to start to see leads come in for sure week 3 if we're doing as instructed here. So jumping into week 3, we start out with what makes people buy. This is extremely important. So we've talked a little bit about that in this training. We've talked about urgency and your positioning and all that kind of stuff. So we go into that in a lot more detail. So that's pretty important, don't you think? What makes people buy? If you understand that, then we can start to position ourselves in a way that responds to that. Then we start to do the email sequences, the messages for LinkedIn, right? So you get the templates, you get all of that stuff. Then we actually start prospecting on LinkedIn. So as you can see, we actually go into my LinkedIn account here and we go through messages that have email chains where we go from taking a cold prospect to actually them paying the invoice. And you can see I go through it inside of my account. I actually show you exactly what I've done, exactly what's said, and you can see over and over again the process working. So it's going to leave you with no doubt, A, that it works, and B, you're going to see firsthand exactly how it works. So once you can see that, it gives you it really makes it easy for you to go out and do it yourself. So we go through a number of examples where I simply go through the whole process inside of my LinkedIn account. I really don't hold anything back from you here. I give it all to you. So then we're going to talk about following up. So that's very, very important. Most of your sales are going to come on the follow-up process, so that's a really important thing there. And then I'm going to show you how to track all this stuff. So you're going to be generating a whole bunch of leads for sure, and the problem you're probably going to have is keeping up with the leads that you're generating. So I give you a tracking system that allows you to keep track of that, which is really simple, really easy to use. And then I'm going to give you some additional tools that you can use that makes the whole process a little bit easier as well. So that's week 3. We're out prospecting week 3 on LinkedIn, and like I say, you're going to get the templates, you're going to get everything you need, just copy and paste to do this stuff, and you're going to see real examples of it where it's actually turned into business. Week 4 is an introduction to the direct mail. So we're going to talk about direct mail. We're going to talk about why you should use direct mail. There's a lot of good reasons why. You're going to get the current letter that's really working well. So you just download the letter, modify it for your own purposes, and this is the most up-to-date letter that's really producing great results. We're going to talk about list building for the direct mail. So this is we've got to build a list of people to send our direct mail to, right? So we talk about where to get those names and addresses from and how to build that list. That's very important. As you now understand, who we target is as important as what we're doing or anything else, right? So we're also going to talk about the envelope. That's very important as well. So the letter's got to be opened. If you can't get your letter to the right person, and if you can't get the letter opened, it really doesn't matter what message is in the letter, right? So we talk about the envelope, and then we talk about putting it all together. So everything you need to get up and running with direct mail is in week 4. Week 5 is a very exciting and very important week. So we're going to talk about getting the sale. So this is pretty much going to be a week of sales training, right? So we talk about setting up the consultation properly, very important. How the person shows up to your consultation is really important. We need them to know who you are, what you do, the benefits that you can offer, and they need to have an idea that it's premium pricing, right? We don't want people showing up thinking that it's nice and cheap, like you're the Kmart or Walmart of the digital marketing world, and then when you give them the price, they suffer from sticker shock. So some additional assets you can use here. This is a paper that I've used that you can just modify and use it for yourself. Then we talk about conducting the call. So this is the actual consultation itself, and you can see this is a little bit of a longer video. So this is how we actually conduct those consultations when people are interested. We're going to talk about how to get a yes on the call. We're going to talk about locking the deal down once they say yes and making sure you get paid immediately and all that kind of stuff. We're also going to talk about what to do if they request a proposal. So I've pretty much got a no proposal rule, right? I don't generally give a proposal. And there's a very good reason for that. It's just going to waste a lot of your time and a lot of their time. So if they ask for a proposal, then I show you how to deal with that. And if you do in fact end up sending a proposal, then I've got a template here for you as well, which is not going to be your standard proposal. It's going to serve the purpose that we want it to serve. So that's week 5. Week 6 is going to be about outsourcing, scaling your business, that kind of stuff. What options are available to you as far as outsourcing? I said I've got recommendations and stuff like that for private clients. Well, this is where all of this stuff is. You know, we've got all of the resources that are available to you. How to measure your success, how to test what you're doing, how to scale your business up once this is working well for you, and just some final thoughts as well. So that's pretty much the 6 weeks. So as you can see, it's step by step. You just go through week by week, and you just follow the video one at a time. Start here, work down, do what each video says before moving on to the next one. And if you do that, then you will assuredly be generating leads week 3, week 4. So that's exactly what's included in the training, right? As you can see, it's step by step. It's very easy to follow. It's very formulaic. It's very templatized. So there's going to be no confusion or no overwhelm in implementing that. So as I said, that retails for $5,500, and that's sold many times for $5,500. But today I'm going to make you a very special deal. If you're ready to take your business to the next level and you're ready to solve the problem of how to get clients once and for all, then I'm going to allow you to get this today absolutely 100% risk-free. I'm going to give you 100% satisfaction, 100% money back guarantee for 30 days. So you can do that today for a one-time payment of only $19.97, or if you would like to, you have the option of making 4 payments of only $638. So there should be a link on this page somewhere now, either it's actually in the screen or maybe just below the screen. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but there'll be a link somewhere on this page. So if you want to enroll in this training now and take advantage of the risk-free offer, then click on that link to enroll now. Now, that's not all I'm going to give you today if you enroll today. So I've got some webinar bonuses as well that I'm going to include in this training for those of you who action takers and are willing to take action today or wanted to take action today. So the first bonus that I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you 10 pre-built landing pages that are in highly profitable niches, and I've used all of them personally to generate business, and they're tested, proven, and they're very, very effective. So the average conversion rate on these landing pages is 32% to cold traffic. So if you do want to run traffic to it, then these convert extremely, extremely well. So here's some examples. I've kind of blurred out the text here a little bit because the copy is what's really valuable, but you can just see some examples of what these pages kind of look like. Like I say, they're very, very effective. They're pre-built and they're in 10 very profitable niches. There's 10 of them. So you can use these with direct mail, Facebook, any kind of paid traffic source whatsoever. So they're landing pages that you know are going to work, and you know are going to work immediately, right? They're going to start generating leads immediately, and they come in the form of unbounced templates, so you just need to upload them into unbounced. There's a little video showing you how to do that. Very, very easy. So those templates retail for $397. You're going to get those at no charge. They're going to be yours free today. The second bonus I'm going to offer you for those who want to enroll today and take advantage of this offer is I'm going to give you a list of top niches to work in. So again, it's just a list here of niches that are very profitable, that I know for a fact people are getting great results in. And if you're not sure about what niche to go into, then this is going to be a great place to start. Pick something from this list and go from there. It's going to be very, very helpful. It's going to save you a lot of time. Now, the value of that is priceless. I'm not sure what price I would put on a list of profitable niches that you can go into. Now, so bonus number 3 is I'm going to give you access to my contractors. Now they're going to be able to provide for a limited number of people. They're going to be able to provide case studies, results, stuff like that. Everything you need to succeed. So if you want to go into a niche and you're not overly experienced, you're just starting out at this, and you're looking for some case studies to help you out with, then for a limited number of people, then my contractors are going to be able to help you out with this and be able to provide you with that kind of information, case studies, results, stuff like that. So that's going to be fantastic if you're just starting out and you're looking for a head start. So basically I'm providing you with absolutely everything you need to succeed here. I'm giving you the direct mail piece, the proven sales copy. I'm giving you the list of niches that you can go into. I'm giving you all of the email sequences for LinkedIn, which are just copy and paste. I'm giving you the direct mail templates, the latest updated versions, which we're using right now, that are converting really, really well. I give you the strategies to do this stuff. Give you the sales training that you need in order to speak with the prospects confidently and to turn them into high-ticket clients. I basically give you absolutely everything you need to get started here in one complete training. So this has worked for students like Brian, who said, I've just recorded a testimonial yesterday after getting client number 2. Thanks again. Your program rocks. I'm right on schedule for my goals this year and can realistically see them being surpassed using your training. Or Galeb, who said, client responds, asks for agreement, signs back immediately, $2,000 onboarding fees, $1,500 a month. I'm in week 4, can't wait to see the results from the direct mail now. Thank you, Cody. Or someone like Shane, who said, signing my first AdWords client, it's $1,500 a month management and $1,500 a month spend. Thanks, Cody, for the training. Or lastly, one last person here, Donovan, who said, okay, got my first new client using this approach. It feels good to have a way to connect with prospects like this. So I just want to let you know that time is actually a factor here. You don't want to wait until all the best niches are totally saturated before you get in on the game and you decide to do what it is that you need to do. So you want to grab your piece of real estate right now while it's still available. Get the best niches and get going. Get your feet on the ladder while it's still early on and those opportunities still exist for you. Because to be perfectly honest, the longer you wait with this stuff, the harder it's going to be to get a foothold. This is a really, really hot industry. There's a lot of people coming into it and there's a lot of money to be made. So this is going to be a case of the earlier you get in involved with this and the earlier you get a foothold, then the better it's going to be, because later on down the road it really doesn't matter if it becomes uber competitive or not, because you've got your clients, you've got your client base, you've got your reputation, you've got everything you need, right? So it's much easier at that point. So it's still early days out there. There's still room for a lot more people to come in this industry, and there's still room for a lot more money to be made, right? But that simply isn't going to last forever. People are going to pile into this, people are going to take this opportunity, and the sooner you're able to do it and take advantage, the better it's going to be for you. So just common sense should tell you that, right? I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. So I want to make this an absolute no-brainer for you if this is something that you're interested in and this is something that you want to do. So you don't have to wait to get started. You can get started right now if this is something you're interested in. So what I'm offering you here is all the training. I'm offering you all the proven templates. I'm offering you the list of niches. I'm offering you access to fantastic contractors who can provide you with great case studies if that's what you want. And I'm doing all of that for, it's more than a 65% discount from the retail price right now. And I'm letting you try all of that 100% risk-free with 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Money back promise for 30 days. So if for any reason whatsoever, and you don't even have to give a reason, you're not satisfied with the training, you're not satisfied with what I'm doing for you, then just let me know. You get your money back and you can keep whatever it is that you've got already. So, and that's absolutely no questions asked, right? No questions asked there. So like I say, you can access this today for one payment of $19.97, or if you prefer, you can do 4 payments of $638, entirely up to you. But like I say, this is a very limited time offer. This program sells for $5,500 and it's not going to be available at those discounted prices for very long. This is a 65% discount for a very limited amount of time. So let's just review the numbers again very quickly before we finish. So one client at $1,500 per month, assuming you can retain them, is worth $18,000 per year. So if you add only one client per month, in 12 months you're at $216,000 per year income. So you take your contractor fees out of that and you're still making $180,000, $190,000, something like that. It's a lot of money, right? So if you can add 2 clients per month, then now you're at $432,000 per year. So all you need to do is to add 2 clients per month and you're now getting close to $500,000 per year income. Now add 4 clients per month. Now this is going to be for the people that own agencies and stuff like that. Now you're adding $1 million to your business in a year, and things are going to start to get really exciting for you at this point, because now you've got a serious budget to invest in growing your business, and that comes from adding 4 clients per month, which is very achievable if you put the time and effort into it, right? So, and that's charging $1,500 per month. Now that's a bare minimum. I charge a lot more than that these days. I'd say my typical price is probably around $2,500 for a PPC client. So you can absolutely, definitely charge more than $1,500 a month. That's for sure. I'm just saying that's your basic starting point, right? So my point here is you don't need to get really big results from this to make a really big income. When you're charging premium fees, then you can get great results from small results. When you're charging premium fees, then small results consistently are going to get you to where you want to be. You don't need to get the massive amount of results. If you're only charging $500 a month or something like that, you need a lot of clients. So again, adding 1 client per month is going to be life-changing for most people. If you're adding a couple of $100,000 to your income, that, to be honest, is going to be life-changing for most people, really. And that, hopefully, as you can see, is actually very doable. It's very achievable. And hopefully you can see that just based on the training that we've gone through today, right? You can see that once you shift what you're doing, that it becomes considerably easier to bring these clients on board. So if you want this training, now's the time to take action before it's too late. Like I said, it's a limited time offer. It's not going to be open for very long before it goes back up to $5,500. And the shopping cart's open now. There should be a link somewhere on this page. It's somewhere around here. Just click on it and sign up now. So like I say, all you've got to do from this is generate 1 client to be ROI positive. That's it. If you can generate 1 client from what I've shown you here and what I share with you, if you can generate 1 client from the training program, then you're going to be ROI positive. And hopefully you can see from what we've covered today and what I've already given you that getting 1 client really is a no-brainer. It's a very easy thing to do. And of course, if you can do that, if you can do it once, if you can get 1 client, then there's no reason you can't do it 10 more times, right? And get 10 clients and then 20 clients and then go wherever you want to go with it, as many as you want. So if you're ready to move to a new level of freedom and ease within your business, then join us risk-free and enjoy a huge discount today, 65% discount. You're getting it for $19.97, not $5,500, which is what it will be again in the future. And that's it. So I really hope to see you inside of the training. I hope you take advantage of it. I'm really looking forward to seeing your business grow and getting some new testimonials from you as well. So that's it from me. I hope you found that very, very informative and very useful. And like I say, hopefully I've given you some stuff here that you can really take away and apply to your business. By the way, the lead magnet that I promised you in yesterday's video, that's going to be emailed to you. So check your email. I haven't forgotten about that. If you watched this webinar, if you signed up, then I've got a little piece of software that tells me you signed up, and that's going to be emailed to you. So if you didn't watch it, you won't know anything about it. You just won't get it. So thank you very much, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all again soon in another training or in the training program. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.